Hello, this is Killnothing. I created a big collection of all the maps and stuff that I've made in ElDewrito over the years and figured I'd make a video to go along with that, just, for fun. So, yeah, the presentation starts with this, or collection, whatever, starts with this. Killnothing, this is all my maps and shit. From here we can jump to, the maps based off of their game mode, the maps based off of what map they're made in, and then here's all the downloads. So we'll just go in order. We'll just go through the entire thing. It starts with modes, so you have all the Slayer and team modes. You have zombie and you have infection, capture the flag, King of the Hill, just together. Race, parkour, and then other. These are just either maps that are more artsy fartsy, maybe ones that are just broken. These are weird ones. Then we get through all the maps in game, and we start. And then we start with this. So we'll go from Diamondback all the way through. Yeah, all the maps. So tip snippers, Mountain Peak, Sneak and Peek combat, snipers 2+. This map was an idea because when you're in Diamondback and you're limited to like this zone of the map, right? Just a small area, and you have this huge landscape all around you. And I saw all these little peaks, poking out. You can't see it here, because when I took this image, and when I took most of these images, the graphics were set to the highest. My computer can't handle it. But the idea was to put a tower on each peak, or enough of them. So there's a tower like in the middle tower right there, and as you can see, sniper is one behind it, one over here. Yeah, so it's like peak mountain peaks, and each peak has 2 teleporters attached to it. Kind of like a ring. So imagine a big circle and they're all connected. So the teleporter on this side will go over here. Teleporter on that side will go over to the next one and all that. That, or I think the teleporters are random. Who knows? Diamond Top. Hot winds, high rocks, tips, turns, and long shots. Diamondback. The original Diamondback map is, on the ground, and above it, that's the idea. Just make the map on top of Diamondback, Diamond Top. So you have, like, this is Diamondback down here. That's the normal map, and then this is the cliff that my map was built on. Capture the flag, 2 bases. Yeah, big, really big. The thing with this map is this entire wall, this entire cliffside is not solid, so I had to put invisible walls along it. But simple enough. Amethyst back. This was I think this is the first infection map I made in ElDewrito. You start here, start in this little area, and you can break out right here. You have a little, human zone, and then, a lot of the infection, the big ones rather. I like to have it. I like to have the players be able to explore, So there's safe places over here, over here, over here. And then the infection, they have a couple they have one spawn area that leads to 3 different teleporters that they can enter the map in, just so they have a variation in how they get to the humans. Mole excavating. The humans, moles, are held up in their cave. Flush them out and eat their bodies. Big rocky inside moon. That's what that is. Drew a little moon. This was the same kind of idea. Like, the map is sort of laid out similarly, but it's if the humans were already in this base. So rather than the humans starting off in a part of the map in a tiny little, holdout area, they start out in a much bigger base, already fortified, and the goal is for the zombies to break in, get them. There's also a red room. Why not? Oh, and the entire thing is supposed to be inside. You're underground, interior. That's why it's moles. And when you look up, you see the little sky. Halo rooms. This was, uh, based off of that backrooms thing, whatever it is. I made this one first because you look at the images of the back rooms, they're all lit. They're all lit office rooms, kind of. So I wanted to go off of that, aesthetic. This is for King of the Hill. This one, the same map, it's just dark. Halo room's dark. Wow. This is the one for Infection. This is the one that most people are familiar with. Dark Room, Halo Room's Dark 2, the original remake of the original non-original map. Invisible, infected, one life, run away, scream at the top of your lungs. This is the same one, except in this one, all the humans don't spawn in one spot. They spawn all across the map. And they have to find each other. And there's also a second floor in this one, but it's really small. Stiegel Hallway. Big Bang Hallway, 40 plus players. This was an attempt at porting an old Halo 3 map that I made back in the 360 days. It was originally based in Foundry, and you can kind of tell, given the layout, the map of Foundry, it has one office space over here, one office space over here, a big room, and then a hallway in between it. The idea was to cut off the big room and just have this hallway. And it's really like a tug of war kind of map. You have these two little bridges that you can shoot down that bring you to these little sniper pits so you can spawn kill, because why not? Yeah, tug of war map. Office Bossa Nova. This is a one of the fucked maps. This is just, there's a prefab that I built from the map Consignment, and it was just a room in an office, and I just copy pasted that. So the entrance, it's like the Halo rooms map, but also one part of the map is rotated 90 degrees. So it's like a normal office, and then you walk into the next room and you think it's going to be another room, but it's, there's the Inception. It's something Inception. Escape my hole. The humans fell down the deep infected hole. Gross. Climb up the treacherous hole and through the traps to victory. This was a attempt to have so the humans start at the very bottom and they climb their way up. And the idea was that as they're climbing up, the zombies would fall down on them and they'd have to fight climbing up the whole way. It gets a little hard. It ended up being more parkour-y than I anticipated, but yeah. Joe's ship crashes. Joe goes to visit his grandma in the swamp when his pirate ship breaks down and zombie monkeys attack his crew. This is for Infection, and it's a boat in the middle of the water, and the zombies can break the bottom of the boat and jump in the boat and eat the humans. There's an avalanche. You know what the map is. You climb to the top and don't get hit by all the shit falling down on you. Desert Hog 2, now with working banshees. The longer version based on Desert Bus. Pretty straightforward. This was the second one. The first one was made on Narrows. After I made that, I sought out to find whatever map I could make it even longer on. And so that's where this came from. The bases also got a little beefed up. You have, you know, a little more fortification, and I think many different vehicles. There's also a halfway point with an elephant that you can use to slow down the other team, but have a big, you know, blockade in the way, or use it to transport your team in a big protected vehicle. Desert Race. This is the longest race map in ElDewrito. It's not official, but you know, someone will measure it and give me the data. Hopefully, it's the map edge, but the entire outside of it is just the race map. I didn't think this would work. I thought that I would have to, you know, make a road along the entire thing because I didn't expect this to be solid, to have any type of, you know, whatever it's called, collision mesh, whatever you want to call it. There is a certain point going alongside that it just cuts off, and it's like they stopped making it. You know, they stopped drawing collision. They drew all this. They drew the landscape, and then they just decided, fuck it, they're far enough outside the map, anyways. And that's why, or that's where this road comes in, because after this point, you can't see it over here, it's far off, but after this point, that's where the cutoff is. So if you were to drive, and you can't see it here, I put like a big roadblock along the entire thing. It's underneath the terrain, because that's where the collision is. A lot of this map, you're driving underneath the collision, or the terrain. So once you pass that point of all the roadblocks, then it's just, you fall. And also you fall in here and die, and if you fall, drive off the cliff, you die. And as much as I try to tell people, as much as I try to warn them when this map always jumps in, don't drive straight to the base. Don't drive straight to the hill. You see this little waterfall? Yeah. It's a waterfall. You'll fall and die. So they need to drive around even longer. That's why it's a long map. Light shines through. Weird map, cool colors and other shit. Up top and shit is gray. I don't know how this happened. This is so it's using a skybox from a different map. I don't remember which, but by changing the skybox from edges to a different map, there was a particular height that when you got to and you looked down into this map, and this is already built in like some weird corner outside of the map, in the interior of Edge. It's really like a random spot, but I liked it had walls, I guess. I don't know. It was like a box, so I just figured I'd fill it in. But once you get to a certain height, you see these little walkways up here. That's where, if you were playing Capture the Flag, that's where the flag is. And this little thing up here. If you are up on these walkways and you look down, the entire thing gets like filtered with this cool gray filter, and it's really cool to when you're up in there and you look down. It almost looks like it makes everything untextured, and it strips all the textures away. It's pretty interesting. And this map uses quite a few assets from. You might notice them. Actually, these bases are from right here. They were from Seagull Hallway. I just took that base and that base, and then the tower here and the place where the flag spawns in are from the Mario 64 map. So a lot of reused assets. Block Fort 2. I did not make the map. I just edited it. It was made by Coconut Lips. Pretty straightforward. It's the block fort from Mario Kart 64. Again, I didn't make it. I just added some shit and kind of tweaked it for, you know, game modes and all that stuff. DT Cali, small city warfare. Welcome to the neighborhood. This is one of my favorite maps. I don't even know where to start with this. We'll start with this image, I guess. So the idea was that, and this is a late map that I made. So the idea was that I've accrued so many like preset buildings or whatever you want to call them, preset constructs and buildings and all this jazz. And so why not have a kind of like a city where you can see all the buildings that you've gotten familiar with, or rather just a city, with a bunch of buildings that I can just copy paste and put them there. It did take some editing. The actual skyscrapers, all three of them, or four rather, are different. I didn't want it to be literally copy paste, but just enough variety and familiarity. You've seen these buildings before, but you also haven't seen them with all these other ones around. So it changes the gameplay a little bit. And you'll get more aware of which buildings have better cover, So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff all over the place, a bunch of places to hide in. This is right here is the interior of the tallest skyscraper, so there's quite a bit even inside the buildings, and I wanted to emphasize on that. I wanted it to be, if there's a building, it's not just a place to run because you're getting shot at. It's there's actually stuff in there. A little foresty area. There is a part where you can take a teleporter and just see the whole map. There's what else we got? One of the skyscrapers is broken, and you have to do a little bit of parkour again there. It's this lower one, and some vehicles, just to make it feel like it's a city. Like there's a parking lot behind this building with like 4 warthogs, and there's no room to drive them. Yeah, this entire map is also just on like a plate, just one cube. So there's no real underground. It's just flat and buildings. Dark Guardian is Guardian, but it's dark. I added some, equipment, little weapons and stuff around, lights, just so you know where you're going. There's people that are saying like, he's just putting lights all over the place, and there's a little more to just placing lights. Like, the colors have some effect. Like, if I just made the entire thing dark, it'd be kind of annoying. Or maybe not annoying, but it would just be, it's dark, I get the point. But at least when you add some colors to it, it retains enough of the original map that you know where you're going. Like, you might not be able to see exactly where you're going, but actually, by lowering the brightness, it brings more attention to the lights in the map. You ever realize that? Notice how fucking glowy Guardian is? Like the center of the map? When you take the lights off and you just see all the glows, I don't know, whatever it is about it, I liked it, and it kind of spawned its own little series, what do you want to call it? Guardian Royale map number 1. 1 life, make a count, scrounge for weapons, and keep on the move. Yeah, I didn't change much about this. I just added weapons in pretty important areas. I added some equipment on both sides and just all around. And after, I think it's 30 seconds or 1 minute, the center of the map gets covered by these shields. So, the longer you survive, the more protected you become if you want to be ballsy and hang out in the center. And all these little tombstone thingies, they have snipers in front of them, but when you play on the Battle Royale mode, I believe that it just makes all the weapons on the map random. So then this becomes much more, or can become much more enticing because now you have a whole bunch of weapons you can choose from. Also, you can tell right here that people keep mentioning this, and I love that they notice it. The beginning of the map starts with just a normal shot of Guardian, but the camera's just upside down, and it looks really cool. So almost like glowing stalactites or something, stalagmites, whatever they're called. Guardian in red. Alternate title is Dangerdian. It's Guardian, but with big red death in the middle. Following suit with all the parkour maps, if there's something just solid red, it's gonna kill you if you land on it. This has a bunch of, explosives. There's a landmine right there. Really just to spice things up. Literally with, spice makes it hot. Portalion. This is Guardian mixed with that one Halo 1 multiplayer map. That's all the rooms connected with teleporters. The general idea was to section off all of the little parts in Guardian as their own area. I guess it's kind of been a thing with all of this. I mean, you have purple. This is the purple area, the blue area, the yellow area. I mean, that was kind of the same thing in this one. I mean, this is the same color. This is yellow. I didn't plan that, but it's that same idea of sectioning off Guardian into all those individual pieces that make up Guardian. I think this is the last one, Gravardian. This is literally just Guardian, but I put a roof on it, and there's like really low gravity. That's literally it. I put the roof because if you jump, you don't fly off and immediately, you never come back. And it's a little angled. You can see it's not just a flat ceiling. It's more directions you back to the center of the map, hopefully. This is Lil Guardian 2. I did not make this. Electric Chill did. I just edited it. All I did was add some spawn points, and when you fall off the map, you actually die. You need to play this with like a tiny Slayer, like 10% size minimum. This is the last one, Float Fucked. Remember that scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original, where they drink the soda, and they start flying up to the fan, and they almost die? Well, in this one, you die. You have pretty much no gravity. Start at the bottom, and look at all these little explosives that fall slowly down and have to get deleted by the map because there's too much on the map to handle. The ramp. This is the ramp. Look at this big ramp. There's a bunch of vehicles that spawn in here, and you drive on the ramp. And you get teleported to the very top, and you drive again. That's it. By Ground 1. Outside the walls bearing sky ground, the peasant apes fight for territory and the overshield power-up by the beach. So, there's a map, I didn't make it, called Skyground. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite maps in all of ElDewrito. That map alone spawned the whole battle royale idea, and so this was kind of playing off of that and tailored more towards that game mode. I tried to have it to where there's distinct areas, kind of separate from each other. So on the beach, it's way more industrial. There's more of these human boxes of human containers and all this stuff, and human weapons. You have a DMR, you have a battle rifle over here. There's a sniper rifle in the ocean itself and up here. So this side is more human and then you get to this side and it's more Covenant-y. You have all these little Covenant boxes that try to make something, broken ship. And then over on the left side, over here, there's like a little pallet area. You can climb in the trees. Over here, there's a base. So, tried to have it more... Try to have each area have more of a personality. And also Battle Royale, inspired, so there's that. Hey, Gouged Grounds 2! Something with an oil pipe and fog and shit. This is my first map that I ever made in ElDewrito. I had come back and edited a little bit, but this is essentially how it was when I first made it. It's unbelievable. Or it's so crazy to come back to this map and see this base and this base, because they take up, together, they take up more than half of the budget of the map. They are very not optimized. They're very poorly optimized, these bases are. But it was the first time, and I wanted to really make my own base, or whatever you want to call it. So, didn't know what I was doing, but something came out of it. You have this... the idea is like some type of oil pipe breaks, and now there's zombies. The idea was that, but this is much more of a Slayer map. Oh, there's an elephant. Originally you couldn't drive it, but I figured fuck it, so now you can drive it around. I don't think it can actually go anywhere. And this is all built on the top of high ground, so kind of cool. Gash. There's a lot at stake when your entire hard drive full of porn is hanging in the balance, because if you lose... This is a split level map. There's two areas. There's the above ground and underground. And I guess there's three, because now there's the above ground, which is here. You have a big central area, kind of divided into two bases. You have one base that's really up high that also has stuff underneath it, but nothing in between. And then you have on the opposite side over here a base with only stuff in the middle and nothing above or below it. So it's kind of like a weird, like a pyramid that got tipped over. And there's a bunch in the map. You can see you can jump up here, take this little bridge, and then go up even higher. Same over here, you can go up. Same thing. You can go on top of that little shaded area, and that'll take you even up higher to the cliff side. And then there's stuff underneath. There's a teleporter that takes you from one base to right here, actually. So from right over here to right here. And then underground, there's one invincibility power-up that you have to break this door to get to. Don't tell anyone about that. Red ground, totally not inspired by Fortnite or Apex Legends or PUBG. Totally not. Definitely not. This is a big open warfare map. This is, hey, look at those skyscrapers making their appearance again. This is essentially all these maps just into one. It's the entirety of high grounds, top half of the map. I tried to that was the playground, and then everything else, everything that would lead you into the original map is just covered by this red death. Don't go down there. So yeah, and this ended up being huge. I didn't expect it to be this big, but it got really big, and I'm happy with it because, like the other map, this has sectioned off into their own areas. You have the area with the buildings, the tall buildings that overlook everything. There's one hill over here. So right here, this hill over here is right here, and this leads to a whole different area with, got a power up right there. All these boxes strewn about, and then right here is an actual building. And then you take this bridge across, and that leads you to a really small, building with a warthog and one little covered area. So you got, you know, small base, medium base, big base. A dark icebox is icebox, but it's dark. I added one light to this one. So, you know. Replicant boom. I did not make the map. I edited it. And by edited it, I mean that I put this wraith here to kill you. And then I put a bunch of stuff all over the place to kill you. To make the race harder. Like all these explosive coils you'd have to now evade. It was a good map before. I just made it harder. This is a washing machine. Yeah. It's just wee. Okay, so this was... I don't know what this was for. I think the whole idea was just, hey, let's have the entire map spin you. I realized that might not be a good idea. So now just a part of the map spins you. And this eventually got used in a parkour map and expanded on much better. Sinovia Tower with 2 R's. I didn't make the map. I edited it. And by edited it, I mean that I put spawn points on it. I think before all the spawn, like either I don't know if they didn't add them or if they were all just in the normal, like original map. I forget, but I've edited this as much as I can, and this is a really nice level. It has a really, really good atmosphere, a good aesthetic. It's fun to play on. But there's one spawn point, and I don't even know what it is. It's a bug. I've done literally everything I can to fix it. And if you played on it, you know what it is. It's when you're in like this area, there's a chance that you'll spawn above, up here, like above the map. And I mean, I've done everything I can. I don't know what to do, what else to try. I've tried putting a teleporter up there that covers the entirety above the map. And that just sends you back into the map. But if you spawn in a teleporter, then it doesn't like count. You have to like be out of it and then go in it. If you spawn in it, then it doesn't register you entering the teleporter or something. I mean, I tried a bunch of stuff, but now there's just a teleporter that says, hey, go back in the map. Also, this tower off in the distance, I made it so you can get to and snipe from. Ugh. Run, run, run. This is the first of a wonderful series. This is part 1 of the parkour maps. Might be able to tell that. This really laid out all the things you need to know. You have 3 teleporters, and these are our checkpoints. When you get to a checkpoint, you smack this barrel out of the way, and then you can jump to that checkpoint. Now, this is the first one, the first parkour map, and because of that, these barrels suck. So if you go to the teleporter, you get to the checkpoint, and you're like, oh, cool, I just gotta punch this barrel out of the way. And then you get teleported without punching the barrel all the way out of the way, it still is stuck and won't let you through. So be a little careful when you get close. You know, hit it from a distance. But as parkour maps goes, I think this is the easiest one of them all, and that's why it's part 1. This is not easy. This is part 4. You might be able to spot some similarities and a difference. If you see here, run, 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 go to run, run, run 2, there's an X, just to let you know that this is the harder version. Yeah, this is just the same map but revisited much later, after I've done a lot more parkour maps and I got a better ideas and better, tricks and things to do. I decided to come back to this and expand upon it. And yeah, it turned out it went much bigger. Run Run Run, the first one ended pretty lacklusterly. Like right here, is that even a word? Is that an appropriate word right there to use right there? This little yellow bridge is really the last obstacle that you're faced with, and it's just walk across it. That's it. Run 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 2, when you get to that point, it's like, oh, there's a whole other level now. So this really blew up, which is nice. Last jump is, why does that say part 4 of 6? And this is part 4 of 6. This is actually the last one. This should say part 6 of 6. I'll edit that. This is the last of the parkour series. Not the last parkour map, but just of this series, let's say. They'll kind of have a storyline going with them. This is, I'd say, the hardest one, at least in terms of the last fucking thing you have to do is insane. This took so many tries, so many like restarting the games because we got to 60 minutes and that's how long the round is. And so just for a quick understanding, this is where you spawn. You start in this area and you have to walk across this, and this is your first obstacle. This is really the first obstacle right here, I think. You jump, you're like, all right, this is the path. You get to this, and you think this is gonna push you off, because your eye level is right here. So you think, oh, I'm gonna bump into this, I'm gonna walk off, but you don't. You actually just walk straight forward, perfectly fine. So you're like, all right, that's fine. So you keep going, but you can't really see it. The last one on this is different, and I didn't do it. That's just the map. And so, a lot of these parkour maps are built around the map itself. I like to emphasize what the map is already. Who the fuck walks on this walkway when they're playing on Last Resort? And who actually looks at the pillars? No one cares. I'm playing Halo. What am I doing? So you get to the last one here, and it's solid, and you're walking forward. And you've already established these things are just, you walk straight through them. The last one pushes you off, and you fall and you die. And that's where you have to go, oh shit, I have to start paying attention. And this entire map is built off of that. Oh, out of the parkour pit, we got Drowning Joe. Joe goes to visit his cousin at his work, but ends up drowning in the water. Yeah, you got a little splash zone. You can actually walk in the water. You don't die if you go in the water, unlike Joe. But yeah, you got a little shanty town action going on. Little base here, and there's a base here, and there's a stuff here. These silos, some of them have weapons in them, and there is a way to get up here for annoying sniping. Hidden base 1.2. Hidden base stocked up and filled with loot. Good idea to all go there at once. This was more tailored towards infection, this map, but you can use it for whatever. And yeah, all the weapons, really all the weapons on the map are on this floor right here. And I guess there's a tank too, but there's a tank. This is the same map, but it's a little different somehow. I actually kind of forgot what I did to make it different. It might be it's just hidden base dark. That could be it. But I mean, the face got changed color. He's like blue there and he's red here, so This is Resort DM Place. Sorry, the rest of the map is under construction. You can find this section, however. It's take this and then cut off everything else. It's just this section of Last Resort, the actual structure and this little, courtyard area, and a wall. So again, it's a lot of these maps, or a lot of my maps, are centered around just focusing on certain areas in the original maps, emphasizing on what's already there, kind of. So yeah, you got a little central area with a power up. Come back in here. You can actually walk on this, and it is a thing. There's a tunnel underneath. You got 2 good weapons in there. Caves Resort. Another map that's just an edit made by Send Nades. The most popular venue for hosting fist fights and wet t-shirt parties. It's good for King of the Hill, Oddball, and just normal Slayer. Yep, this is used for fist fight, the game mode. I mean, you can use it for you can use other game modes in here, but I don't know why. I mean, I guess you could. Why not? This thing in here explodes if you punch it. So punch it, and then you can jump. You got each side, they're identical. You climb up, and you got these 2 gates. You can actually jump too. So the edits I did were what did I do? I made it King of the Hill. So you have a hill down here and a hill up here. So that tells people they can go right here where the danger is, or they can climb up and defend their base and stop people from getting up and taking the hill. You can use grenades, or you can't. You can use whatever, I guess. There's power-ups around. Last Guardian PS4. I don't know why I named it this. It was just an idea. Dark, Bridges, Swati, Edgar Allan Poe meets Samus Aran. The lift in the middle is the earth, and you are the stars. I wanted a dark SWAT map where the fog was your main enemy, kind of. And, it's not that, it's not that intrusive, I don't think, the fog. You can actually see quite a ways. Like, you're in one section here, you can see 1, 2 a ways from you. And it's sectioned off kind of in red versus blue. Just red area, blue area. This does work with capture the flag, so there is that. I did want to make an effort that it was not identical, not symmetrical, but that each base was an equal number of little platforms away from each other, and still try to have that, different. So, and there's a little bridge here because these 2 are so far away. Enter Butt Base. Infiltrate the heavily guarded, trapped, hidden pathed military base by entering through the back door. This is part 3 of the parkour maps. You start here, and is there only 2 teleporters this time? Yeah, there's only 2 checkpoints this time. It starts really simply. Look at these tables. Now the tables are flipped. That's your first challenge. Or puzzle, rather. The top of the tables are safe. The bottoms are not. How do you get across? Blah, 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 blah. So, you go. Start here. This is butt base. You can't really see it. I should have taken a picture of it, but it's essentially you have to make it through the washing machine that we saw earlier. But now shit's trying to kill you inside of it. This is much more of a puzzle-focused map, actually. Once you make it through the butt, you are spit out on the beach of Last Resort, and there is a very specific order in which you have to complete this map. To get to here, which is the how to get to the second checkpoint, you have to have a gravity lift. So, keep that in mind. You need the lift first. How to get that? Well, you gotta explore. And also, check out this window. Might be handy. Hijack 2. This was not made by me. Made by Tiberius Mercer, who is, I mean, everyone should know him by now. Okay, he's one of the best. Okay, you can't. He's up there. And I'm nothing. He's the top. I just wanted to make the map more friendly for people who like to jump out of the map. In Forge, this is what the map looks like. Originally, there was boundaries or invisible walls to keep people from going into the areas they shouldn't. I got rid of those. I think I added a little. I think maybe I added some weapons too, because when you get rid of invisible walls, you have more budget. I did add a thing in the back, so that should be fun. And reminder that pallets don't float. So, Here we go. Doom 2 Map 2. This is the remake of Underhalls. This was my first and really only remake of a map. I most of the maps are created just on the whim, but this was an idea. Someone had made Doom 2 Map 1 already, and I was like, this was really good. What if there was a second one? Because I like the second map. I like them both too. So yeah, you can see here. This is what I used to base the map off of. This is just some asset taken from a Doom World website, and this is the map in ElDewrito. There were some compromises, of course, but all in all, it's pretty accurate. I mean, it has all of the sections in the original map, at least that were able to be put in here. The sections where they only open after a certain trigger or whatever. You can't do those, but I mean, yeah, it's the Doom 2 map, man. Awesome. There's no image for this, but I don't know why there's an image for this. It's a cube. It's an open cube inside a bigger cube. There, go crazy. Indoor, from the imagination of your younger Halo 3 playing self. It has X3 raw random energy. So before I mentioned that, I believe it was DT Cali. That map was, I said it was just a bunch of preset buildings that I wanted to build a town out of. This is that, but take away the constraint of it having to be a building. This is just prefab galore, Of course, eventually it turned into, I started by just spawning prefabs, place them all over the place. All right, where do I go from here? And then from there, it turned into this really just kind of stream of consciousness map. I still try to have it be game playable, put equipment and weapons in strategic spots and all that. But yeah, this is a fairly chaotic map, but still a little fun. Snowhole 1. This is an early infection map. This is a vertical, snowy, and bubbly battle, but with zombies. I say infection, but you can use it for Slayer. I'd recommend infection, though, just because you'll fall a lot. It's a very... Okay, so it's in Narrows, so it's at one of the... It's, I believe, the blue sides base, and it's built in that just small little area. I don't know. It's very vertical. The bubbles were kind of cute. Someone mentioned that they really liked the bubbles, and I think it's because so at the very bottom you have this little base that you can walk into, and then that takes you to like right here, and there is a teleporter on the bottom that takes you to the top. So if you do find yourself on the bottom after trying to climb up so many times, you can just skip right up there. There's one rocket hidden behind the waterfall. And the bubbles were, because there's water falling down, what is going to come up to help you come up, I thought bubbles rise. Bubbles are there for water, so why not have bubbles help you back up? Desert Warthog. This is the first one, the original. Yeah, it's got a one base, other base. There's a little, just so there's something there. I had a tiny little dip in the middle with a fun ball you can play with. This is much shorter than the one on Edge. It's still very long though. So this is golf. You have to drive your warthog, or your mongoose, and make it to the hole. You have to land the mongoose on the hole. You can't jump off the mongoose. That's cheating. That's picking up the ball and placing it in the hole. Doesn't count. The mongoose is the ball. And there's a sink. This is golf 2. There's no mongooses on this map. There's only golf balls. This one is the golf ball has to make it to the goal. This one's much harder. I don't think anyone can do this online, because if you have any sort of latency, you're fucked. This is ridiculous. I haven't beaten this map. No one should be able to beat this map. It's impossible. One person ever has beaten this map, and I got the video for it. I should put that in here. Blight Town. So this is not a part of the parkour series, but this is because it deserves its own spot. This is based on Blight Town from Dark Souls 1. The atmosphere was inspired by that, and it's parkour. You gotta parkour your way up. It's really cool. I really like this one. I tried to emphasize on what's that term? Environmental storytelling. Because at the very start, you can see every part of the map. I had to be an element, because in Blight Town or in Dark Souls, you can do that, and so I wanted to have something like that replicated in here. Right here you can see it's like a one thing sticking out. It's really cool. When you go see that, it's red. It's kind of dark here because it's in the shadow, but this is actually a thing that if you walk through the first checkpoint, this is the checkpoint, by the way. You have two like mid checkpoints, and then the first checkpoint, and then there's a second checkpoint. So there's like 2.2 or whatever you want. So you go through the first one. If you go through that and you're not paying attention, you will fall all the way from this checkpoint that you just went through all the way and hit this and die. And I thought that was so funny, because when you're down here, you're going to jump and try to get to this pallet walkway, and you're going to die 20 times just on the first obstacle. And so I wanted to be, after you make it all the way to the top, there is still something that can instantly kill you. And that screams Dark Souls to me. This is Snow Reactor. The reactor has frozen to its standstill, only moving from the impressions of zombies crawling from within. This is a infection map based inside of a reactor kind of place. You got a place to hide here, a place to hide here, a place to hide here, a place to go here, a place to hide here, a place to hide here, and yeah, you got a bunch of places. The zombies have, I think, there's like a couple ways for them to get in, There's teleporters. If they go, they have a spawn area. If they go underneath, or if they go underground, they have 2 areas they can get to the humans from. And then if they go up, they have 2 areas to get to the humans from. There's also a big gate right in the middle. The humans can't open it, but the zombies can. So they can just break into the front door or come from the top or the bottom. Low grav blue room. This map is fucked, but it's very blue, so I kind of like that, at least. I actually forgot I made this when I was putting this together. I didn't know. I saw this and I was like, what the heck is happening? Yeah. So, there's low gravity. There's grav lifts everywhere. And it's blue. This is Fuck You Park. This is the last parkour map that I made. You know, of all of the parkour maps that I've made, and when we first when I first play them and I first premiere them, we first play them online. Depending on, if it's a hard one, we might have to play it a couple times, do a few games to finish it. And these are 60-minute rounds, so and people online across the world will play a parkour map in Halo with, not unnoticeable latency, and they can complete it. But that all that said, it comes with a ton of complaining. And so this was my response to that. I'm not saying I don't care. I do care, but holy shit. Whiteout Dark. I didn't make this map. I edited it. I made it dark. Zombie Estate 2. So after I made the Doom 2 map, and I realized, oh hey, I can semi-decently, I think, remake maps in Forge. I got way more comfortable with it. There was always this one map in a game that I loved, called Zombie Estate. It was back in the Xbox Live Indie Games days. Back when the Xbox Live Indie Game Arcade was a thing. It might still be a thing, I don't even know. It's a really fun game, indie game, but I just fell in love with the map. And so I wanted to recreate it in ElDewrito. Of course, with, my own little tweaks. There's a couch now. And the original doesn't have a couch. Add a warthog and a mongoose so you can actually traverse around. But I couldn't get a good snapshot, because who would upload a snapshot from this game that no one knows of? There's even this little shop in Zombie Estate. After you complete a round, you can go to the shop and you're safe. So in here, I added, you can't see it here, but I added the same thing. And in the game, if you have like safe zones enabled, I forget what they're called, it doesn't make you invincible. You still get hurt, you can still die in there, but it makes you have infinite ammo. So it's something. Because in the original game, this is where you buy ammo. And so since you can't get ammo anywhere else, it's like, I'll get it there. But if you knew Zombie Estate, you'd know what I'm talking about. Dark Narrows. It's Narrows, but dark. And I added a ghost to it. Because Narrows doesn't have any vehicles, so why not try out a vehicle? There's actually a lot more added to this map than just making it dark. Of course, add the colors, red and blue. But aside from adding vehicles, I beefed up the bases, so they're more like a base now. It's like you can tell that you have the center of the map, you have the sides, and then you have like a base, some area that you can actually defend now. And then I added a section underneath the section of narrows. So now you have like 2 little walkways you can go. Real high race. So this map had to be moved around, actually. This was made on high ground. And if you select all and take this entire map and load it into high ground, it fits or it perfectly contours the terrain above the map, because that's what this was trying to do. It was, you were driving on top of high ground. You're really high on high ground, a real high race. But high ground has such, and if you play on a red ground, you will, and you get the Banshee, you will immediately know this. High ground has a very low ceiling. So when I made the map, I pieced it all together and then I took it for a test drive. That's kind of how I make maps. When I'm doing it, I do it and then I'll test it, or I will host it and make my players test it. So you drive the map. Here you go. Whoa, spinny, whoa, big jump, whoa, watch out, whoa. You get to right here, and you couldn't progress. When this was on high ground, you got to right here, and it was just this part that was too high. So instead of changing the map, I just moved the map entirely. And I mean, it kind of works, because now it made making, if you fall off the map, much easier to handle. Just a big fucking death zone. But it's kind of cool. You have to, this isn't just a pedal to the metal race, especially right here. You have to, watch your speeds. Literal Tower 2. Man, fuck whoever broke this. Not that it's that hard to fix, but whatever. For the sake of archiving, here's my reaction. Darn. I don't know if you've ever noticed. Maybe we can see it here. Can we? No. Oh, yeah, you can see it right here in the background. But on Reactor, very far off in the distance, even farther than the flying ship in the sky, there's just a tall ass tower. So of course I was like, well, what if the map's up there? So I made this entire tower solid, including these spires up here, and added 2 bases on it just to have something. Really, the map before was just the tower was solid now. That was it. What made it Literal Tower 2 was that I added bases to it. So now there's a reason to play on it, I guess. This was eventually going to be something more, but I think I hosted this. I hosted an online forge, and some players were in there, and unfortunately they grabbed stuff. Maybe they weren't, they didn't know how to forge or whatever the case is, and it got fucked up. So this map is broken. Sad, but Hey, another broken map. Way too difficult for a race map, not currently beatable according to someone, but I haven't beaten it either. So, it's sad. I really like this. You start way over here, and you drive mongooses along the top of Reactor. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So you drive along the top of Reactor, because there's trees and stuff up here that you can drive through, and it's kind of cool. It's wavy, rocky. So I made a little track that you can traverse across, and then eventually you make a jump, and now you're here, and you're driving up and up and up. And as I'm making all this, I'm thinking, well, Reactor's kind of circular. You have the center's right here, and it's circular around it. So what if this was one of those Halo ring maps? Where you drive around in a circle and some guy shoots you with a bazooka.
So I plopped them down right here. The guy with the zombie starts right here, and he's shooting you as you're driving around in a circle. Eventually, you come over here, you turn around, and you go back, and now you land inside the map, and hey, now you can drive on the road. It got way too complicated though. There's like a tube you have to drive through, and that dumps you right here. Then you have to fucking Mario platform your way, and then drive on top of a tube and not fall off somehow. The only way that I've been able to make it to the end, I haven't beaten it, but I've made it to the end, is when I'm here, the zombie shoots a rocket, and then somehow I land inside the map without dying. I don't know. Garden Wars. The gnomes from Invader Zim Simulator. Sometimes the walls kill you. Imagine they're electrified. Now, I should go back and edit this map, and I probably will. But that's true. Okay, so just for starters, the map is you're tiny. You're all tiny. And this is right outside. You can see this is on the outside of Reactor. See, that's the interior right there. This is outside. These are on the back of the walls. Because I saw, behind Reactor, there's these little, just this little patch of trees. And I thought, oh, that's cute. Why not put a map right here? If the trees are tiny, the trees are really small, and they're all not solid, you can walk right through them, why not make the player even smaller so that the trees look big and it's like you're in a forest? This is in game. This is how tall you are, right here. This is your size. POV right here. The problem is that all along the side of the walls, there's like some sort of kill box, and it's very strange. And it might be an easy fix. Maybe put an invisible wall, just in front of it. Just a bit in front of it, so when you're walking to it, your player doesn't actually touch the wall. It touches like some invisible wall before it. It'll be weird, but that's only to save you from dying from touching the electrified walls. I don't know why they are. Sandtrap. Now we are on to Sandtrap. This is Call of Duty Rust 1.9. I didn't make it. I edited it. All I did was turn down the sandy fog a little bit. So this is how it looks originally. Sandy. This is how it looks now. Just a little more clear. That's pretty much it. Oh, yeah, I don't think I added that warthog. That would be something I would do, but I didn't do that in this one. Jesus Hill. Escape the fast fallen angels and climb your way to the top to ascend to heaven and win. This is a big hill was the prompt for this map. Big fucking hill. The Jesus, don't look into that. I'm not like a Jesus man, but it's kind of fun. You look up and it's just a big cross, and look, it's the sun, and you're like, oh, I climbed to this heavens. Here's the idea. It's also super bright up on the top where you ascend. It's like blinding, like that meme of the guy who's playing Counter-Strike, and people keep throwing flashbangs at him, and you see his webcam, and it's just him looking at the screen, not changing his emotion at all, and then his webcam just goes white, and he's not fazed by it at all.
It's like that bright.
Sand wrapped. 2 bases surrounded by sand, 1 big open fence in the middle. So, okay, imagine Sandtrap, and now imagine the part of Sandtrap that if you drive off into, the Guardians will start killing you. Now imagine that the interior of Sandtrap isn't playable, but only the part where the Guardians blow you up is. And then raise it, and then put 2 bases on it, and then divide it. The problem is that it's really not clear that you can go outside, I think. Because most people, they just drive right through. That's where Sandwrap 2 comes in. Because in this one, you can't drive right through. Because there's a fucking wall right here. And yeah, you see right here. You drive. I mean, you could just drive up to the fence and boop, do that, but you know, to drive around in the sand was really the idea. It was like, whoa, you can drive around the sand. Here we go. So, the model of the map was made by Turtle Boy. It was imported into ElDewrito by Newbie, and then I pieced it together in Forge. This is the greatest map on ElDewrito. I can just let the images speak for this. This was the only map that I upped my graphics to the highest I could to take pictures for. You can tell there's like reflections on the walls in this. There's nowhere else in this entire collection. I love this map. And I love it so much because of one, the collaboration that was involved. And two, because I think if you can, I think when you import Womps Fort into any map or into any game, that's just, I don't know. It's just something about this map in any game is just, maybe I just really like the map, the original map. But you know, I tried my best to make it a playable map, and it's, you know, not a perfect replica. This entire section over here, you can walk up and just skip. You know, originally you're supposed to go this entire way around, but you can just kind of go like, bleh. But it's fine. So, you know, you got to snipe around the very top of the map, typical of where the star is. There's a overshield. There's also an overshield down here just to have it balanced out. Where this cannon would be, there's a gravity lift. I wanted to place enough lifts and enough stuff around so, you know, the areas that you would go to in the original, you know, in Mario 64 would still be the areas you would go to here. Like, for example, down here, you know, there's a little, in the original game, there's a spot that if you stand still, you'll be teleported up to here. And that's the same thing on this map. If you go to that little section down there, you will be teleported right up here. So, you know, I tried to keep the integrity of the map a little bit. What a good map. All right, next. Sand Reach Around. You race around the entirety of Sand Trap. Hey, do you recognize this big black thing in the middle of the map? Wonder where that's from. Yeah, so sand wrapped, but now it's a race map. You all start here. Vroom. Drive around in a big circle around Sand Trap a couple times, and there you go. This is the exact same map, but now there's mines all over the fucking map. Just to make it a little harder. Just so it's not literally driving around in a circle. We're here to play Halo, not NASCAR. Next we have Climbing Climb. Climb to the top of this organized mess while some cunt shoots at you with a bazooka. 1 life, make it count. Yeah, it's fairly simple. It's like a duck hunt map. There's a game mode in here, or a variant called Duck Hunt, so use that. Yeah, start down here, climb your way to the top. It's simple. Yeah, a little parkoury, but we're just Duck Hunt. This is Sand Dark. This is Sand Trap, but dark. You know, with all the lights, it's not that dark, but I think this is the only. This is the dark map. The only dark map that has the most lights. Man, how do I phrase that? This is the dark map that has the most lights. That's a better way to put it. Also, this is one of the very few maps that has an anti-air wraith. So, that's fun. And just a little thing up here. Why not? There's vehicles and everything. Parkour or 2. Parkour? Yes. Possible? Yes. Barely? Yes. There's only one checkpoint. This is a pretty small parkour map. It's actually really small. There's really only 3 obstacles. This, which you have to jump on the edge many times. This, which is a bunch of fucking toolboxes, and then this, which is a road that curves or teeters that you have to drive a mongoose across. And it's only been done once. By me. So it is possible. I had someone in the passenger seat too, so they can attest for me. Fiesta Draw Room 2. This is one of those like pads on standoff, that doesn't have anything on it. It's just a circle that I decided is it like a silo cover, I think? Something. A missile cover? Whatever it is. A satellite cover? Whatever it is, I just turned it into a dome. That's the map. It's just a dome. Oh, you got some. There's like a shield you can get. There's like only one shield. But yeah, it's a dome. You can do stuff in it. Mars Safe Zone 2. Once nearby telescopes listened for a message from the stars. How do telescopes listen? They don't capture sound. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty straightforward infection map. There's the map has been closed off by a big wall, and all the humans start off inside one of the bases. They got doors and stuff that are closed off, and zombies can either break in and get them quick, or humans can run around and collect equipment and reach the safe zone, which is right here. Nuketown, yo! This is made by the greatest mapper ever, Tiberius Mercer, but I edited it to make it even worse. This is Nuketown, but it now has drivable vehicles. You can go on the roofs of all the buildings. You can't break out of the map now, because I saw how people were doing that. And I know I like to make it so you can get to places you can't get to, but, out of the map is out of the map. I added actually more than just like 3 warthogs. I edited something, this box right here you can actually go into. There's a power up in there. So now there's 2 boxes you can go into. Why not? What else? There's a mongoose. There's a mongoose, a ghost, and a chopper also somewhere. Also, there's like armor abilities as well somewhere, I believe too. Tiberius Mercer is a great mapper because you can tell a great mapper when you go in to edit it and you have no budget remaining and you have to scrounge around to find something you can we don't need that, because really at that point you're trying to look for the detail that they added, because you make the map, it's good, but you want to make it look good too. So that's when whatever budget you have left over goes to adding detail. And so when you're doing editing, you're like, okay, what detail can I remove that hopefully people won't notice? Because the stuff that you do, the small details that you do notice, they leave an impression. So it's kind of sad that I'm going in here and removing all those little impressions. But, I want to get on the roof. Consignment laser. I mentioned before, consignment. You can tell this is the office that's used in half of my maps. This map was made by Bingo. I edited it to make it look more appropriate for laser tag. Consignment 2, however, doesn't look appropriate for anything except vomiting or tripping balls. Dutchman battle. Fight to defend your flying Dutchman. A vast cascade of land populated by 2 lone fortresses. This is a capture the flag map for sniping. This is a sniping capture the flag map. Very long. It's not as long as Desert Bus, but still long. Each base can teleport to their respective little side bases, not directly inside of it. They spawn like right in the middle. There's one straight little divider that divides the map. Again, something that I built around. You know, a lot of my maps build around what the map provides. So you have one base, another base, and a big hill in the middle. And then, so I saw there's a strip of land dividing right in between the two of them. So there's 3 little bridges you can go across, and then like a ditch that goes throughout the entire thing. And so if you go through one teleporter on the red base, and the other person goes to the other teleporter from the blue base, they will be able to see each other directly. So, you know, kind of makes it even. Big Race 1. Drive on the Big Race 1. And when you get to the finish, you can drive to ride a rainbow. You start outside the map on this big road and make your way inside the map. Watch out for this tire. If you hit this tire, your car will be totaled. You will lose the race if you touch that tire. Also, don't fall off the cliff. That's why there's an exclamation point to slow down. Big Race 2. You can actually see much more of the map in this one. This one's longer than the first one. And it's all on mongooses. And there's like sections of the map where the road is much bigger and much smaller. You actually drive through one of the bases, actually both of the bases on standoff. So, yeah, you really go through the entire map on this one. And again, you also start outside the map in the same spot. So that's cool. Left 4 Dorito 2. Curing the infection 1 bullet at a time. That's from Left 4 Dead. Or Left 4 Dead 2, I forget which one. Yeah, this one was an idea where humans had to make their way to a city. You know, like Left 4 Dead, it's getting to a destination. You know, making your way to something, and then it turning out not to be safe, or you have to make your way again somewhere else. Now, to be fair, this map wasn't actually finished. The idea was that humans all start in one area. They can take their own paths. They can go to get vehicles. They can just run across. They can find an elephant for some reason. There's all these spots they can get to. There's buildings they can go inside of and all that jazz. There's cover. But the real idea was that all of this was distraction. Really, the goal was get to the end of the road. Or if you think you're just going to die by doing that, then you can find places to hide and be safe. But I didn't end up finishing it. I think I got to this point and left it alone for a while. Came back and was like, whoa, there's like a whole town here. I'm going to finish this up. Dark Off. It's standoff, but dark. Also with a banshees. And a tanks. And a light. Some Puzz Pit. We're on to the pit now. This is unfinished. And it might stay unfinished forever. It sucks. This is maybe not. This was a parkour map, but it was going to be more focused on puzzles. So you spawn here, and you see this big thing. Big bar. That's completely irrelevant. There's like a teleporter, takes you on this walkway, and the walkway kills you. Hence the red. If you go above the red, that'll kill you. So you have to walk on the sides of the walkway. So it was going to be more puzzle focused, learning how to get to the map. But unfortunately, this right here is actually just telling the player what I discovered when making the map, and that is that there's a big fucking invisible wall that you can't get rid of after I had built all this stuff around it and decided, so I was like, meh. It also kind of looks ugly. The pit really only looks good either inside or not above the map, I think. The putt. The pit, but with more covers, routes, weapons, and abilities. By putting more shit everywhere, it makes it seem much bigger. Just, disabled the thing in Forge that allows you not to go places. The push barrier, that's what it's called. So you can't actually go on top into this little, the sniper room up here. There's a teleporter that allows you to go, that sends you right there. There's a walkway from this base along this to the other base. You got a trapped rocket launcher room. I mean, semi-trapped. Yeah, just more places to go around. The Pom Pom Pit. This is Bomberman meets Pac-Man meets Master Chief. This is the map. This is Pac-Man. Bomberman. Master Chief. So you get spawn. You got, and each wall is breakable. It's not like immediately breakable. You have to make your way through it, but yeah, fairly simple. Above each wall that you can break through, there's a chance that you'll find a weapon or an armor ability. Sometimes there's stuff up there, or an explosive. Wow, I keep messing up that up. Yeah, and each little room has some stuff in it sometimes, so just to diversify as you're roaming around. The Pom Pom Pit V is the exact same thing, but it's made for infection, just to make it so that, because generally the spawns are random. So if that was the case in infection, you'd have a chance of spawning right next to an infected that could kill you, and then people would be like, that sucks. So now all the infected spawn on one half, and the humans spawn on the other half. It needed to be a separate mode because of budget reasons. Pelican pushing. You can drive. So this is a race map. You can drive straight through these pelicans. They're not solid. I wanted them to be solid, but they weren't. The race map would have been the same had they been solid. But I think this isn't the biggest race map, but this has a lot of cool stuff in it. A lot of cool turns and twists. You really test all of your driving skills on this map. There's a section where you just hold down, you pedal to the metal. There's parts where you have to drift across. There's jumps. And all the while you are driving through pelicans. You're like pushing them out of the way. Yeah. And we're on to Valhalla. Down the river. Make your way down the river, but watch out for those biting salmon zombie bitches. Also, look before you leap. Yes, when you get to the river, when you get to the end of the river, make sure you make it, because you'll fall down the waterfall and die. But it's that waterfall on Valhalla, but you start on the very top of it and work your way down. Eventually, you get to the end. You climb around and make your way to a little safe boat. And the infected spawn out of these little places, right here and right here. So they spawn at the bottom of the river, climbing their way up and getting you. Delta Halo Hog, made by Noseless Monk, edit by me. All I did was add a warthog. You can also get out of the map with the warthog, but I just added this warthog right here. That's all I did. Elephant Arena. Elefala Arena. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear. The idea for this map was very simple. The only thing that I could use for getting around, for terrain, is an elephant. Some people have difficulty playing this map. I am one of those people. And by people, I mean their machines. Run to the ocean. Flee your grandma's house atop the mountain. The tax collectors are coming. The only safe place is international waters. Yep, you start all the way on the very top of Valhalla. Get a few cars and make your way all the way down to the beach. There's a big snowy cliff because it's snow themed. There's a whole beach area down here. When you get to it, don't fall in the water, that'll kill you. And then you finally make all the way across this bridge to the ocean where you're safe. The zombies can spawn in a few different areas. If they spawn here, they have the option to take a teleporter that'll take them much closer to the house than if they were to run there. And then if they take this one on the right, that'll take them closer to the base to ambush humans when they get to the base. So the zombies have a few tricks up their sleeves. Space map fucked. This was made by Clutchism. So this is just the pieces in space map, like the original map, you know, but I just added a bunch more and moved them around all over the place. Because if you're in space and you're floating around, why would everything be so uniform? Why not just, it's space. It's all fucked. Asphalt. This was made by Nacho159. I just edited it. Very red versus blue. This is a Halo Reach map, actually, that they ported. It's really good for Capture the Flag, especially now, because my edit was making it so red players spawn at red base, and red players spawn at red base, and blue play. Mount Kilimanjaro, the second to last hardest parkour map, or arguably the hardest one. In terms of like a adventure, like a story, this is, I think, the best one. This was one of the maps where I really played around with the FX and the effects things in Forge. Like at the beginning of the map, beginning of the level, you have to climb, you have to rock climb. The first obstacle in your map is a big rock. And the only way to climb it is these two street cones. The one on the left doesn't work. You have to use the one on the right. And then you eventually climb up to the top, and then you gotta go further into the map. Once you get to here, things start getting a little harder, and it's reflected in the effects that the map gets harder, it looks hard and all that, until you finally escape up top to the base of Mount Kilimanjaro. Now, I think the first time, originally this map took more than 3 hours to beat. So that means I hosted the map. The game mode is, the run game mode is set for an hour. I think we got to, we didn't even get to climb the mountain yet. By the time we went through our first game, 60 minutes go by and we're like, no, we gotta restart. And we had to do that 3 times before someone actually finally beat the map and conquered Mount Kilimanjaro after 3+ hours of climbing. And I really like that, because at the start, you have this, in retrospect, little rock to climb up, and you have one thing on it. Only one thing that helps you. Look at this mountain compared to all the stuff on it to help you get up. And this one, all the things here. This is much less than Mount Kilimanjaro, but there's still a good number. And then compared to the very first hill you accomplish, or you conquer, is all you need is one street cone. I don't know. Really good map, though. Snowtime Maze. This is an unfinished parkour map. Again, more focused on puzzles. As time went on, I wanted to get more, creative in how people would have to overcome obstacles, and so that eventually goes to, how do you make them think? And so this is the starting room. I don't think I'm going to finish this, so I'll just explain how you beat it. This is the starting room. You spawn here. This is all you have. You have a glass encased area you can't get into. There's 1, 2, 3 teleporters in the room. 1 is active and 2 are off. And you are supposed to get in. But these doors don't open. And that's all you got. Eventually you get to something like this, and that's where it stopped. DE Dust 2, but cooler. Made by gender pronouns. All I did was edit it. Essentially, this is just Dust 2, but dark. And I think of the dark maps, this is the darkest one, even though it's still got colors. Yeah. Anime Battle, LOL. LOL. This is a map made by 3 players in Forge multiplayer within 1 hour. The idea was, the 3 of us jump in a Forge for 1 hour, and we each make our own base, and that's the map. And that's the map. I don't remember all who did it. I know Newbie, this is Newbie's contribution, this beautiful base with great defenses. This was mine with this is actually like a teleporter that takes you up. You can like shoot yourself across the map with it. And I forget who made this one, but this one is you're completely encased by like a wall of like a rock wall, and the only way to get in is in the water. On the river in Valhalla, you have to go through that. But then also, this is the way to get out, is you get a boost. There's vehicles. And then you got the Party Pelican! Forge Canvas. Forge.canvas, and then 6 spawn points, and then you save the map, and that's the map. There you go. Divine Junction. This is the second part of the parkour maps. After ascending into strange corridors of light, your body feels heavy, and your world is changing. This map all started with the fact that when you are underwater, you jump a little differently. And so your very first obstacle is something that when you look at it, it's impossible. Because you know how far and high you can jump. But when you are underwater, it messes with you just a little bit to where the first obstacle is actually possible. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible. And if you try to do it when you're above water, it's not possible. This one actually has 4 checkpoints. That being said, I don't think it's the hardest one. The obstacles are fairly easy to overcome. It's just there's a lot of them in this one. I'll give you a hint. When you get to this part, the way to beat it is to follow the yellow brick road. Or maybe don't follow it. Use its momentum. This is Snow Hollow. It's Valhalla, but it's snowy. Look at that snow. Pallet Halla. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to jump across the ocean on pallets that sink right as you land on them? No? That's this map. Jump, 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 until you get to the end where it's you have to jump on a chair. Sorry. Funhalla. This is this one I didn't want to have any expectations. I'm gonna put a bunch of shit everywhere and just that's it. Actually this is good. This is a good map though because it resurrected the tube from that one broken map on Reactor. You jump on this teleporter, it sends you to the top of the tube, takes you all the way down, and you hit this teleporter and you get shot out of this cannon across the ocean. And sometimes they go farther. But there's more than just that. You got all these flying vehicles. You got a tower of warthogs all along you can barely see, but all along the cliff side. There's like peaks that you can teleport to. There's a whole section for guns. There's like a LA Noire part. It's like a Bioshock room. Space Invaders. Mountain trekking. You're gonna need a 4-wheel drive pickup truck to traverse this rocky road. Yeah. You start here. Make one jump. If you can make this jump, then you can make the map. But it's driving alongside, really the outside of Valhalla, just all along the mountains. Right until you get to the very peak, and then that's where the hill is. There's one part right here where you have to. This is careful. You have to actually make like a jump. So, water race. In this map, you drive along the ocean floor of Valhalla. That's pretty it. Again, molding my map around what the original map's already providing. You know, this little ravine, so I drew a little bridge to go across it. There's these like little grav boost, or a little boost as you're driving. Little jumpies. So, yeah. Vamp base cool. Hidden away from the ruined world surrounding, this barely constructed base lies in wait for nature to take over. This was originally going to be just an infection map, having this base be like the center for all the humans, and then all the zombies can come in. You can still use it with infection, and if you do, the infected have 3 points in the map that they can spawn into. Like, they spawn in one area and have 3 teleporters they can take. But if you're doing Slayer, then it's a pretty good Slayer map, I think. You have a lot of different areas you can get to. There's a whole underground part. You have the actual base itself. And there's places to get all over. And a lot of people have noticed this when they play it, if they've played some of the parkour maps. This was actually the beginning of Mount Kilimanjaro. The first checkpoint in Mount Kilimanjaro got inspired by this map. Like the traversing the waterfall first came from this map, and then I thought, well, what if I played around more with that, trying to climb up the waterfall, parkour-y, because the idea was for the infection. Originally, the idea for this map was infection. All the humans start in this base. They have to make it to the waterfall, climb up it to be to the safe zone, and then the humans win. They can't get hurt up there. But I figured that adding parkour to it might be too much. It might be too difficult, and so just decided to turn it into a much harder, much more difficult entire parkour saga. Big Bang Hallway. Built off a map by Sergeant Squiddy with additional edits by XX Barth. And then I edited it. This is Foundry, but all you have is the hallway and the bases. And then I added, there's a little more outside the base too. This is like Seagull Hallway, but a little more hardcore. I don't know. I like this one a lot. It's really close quarters, really hectic. And it's not just the hallway. You can go, just outside the hallway. So that's good. Hey, Foundry version 2. This is just Foundry. Like, this is their map, but I just deleted everything on the inside of it. So, go thank those two for this map. I recommend playing it with, like, some type of You're Invisible game mode or something. I don't know, because it's literally just empty. Long Shit. Built off of Longshore, made by DT192. It's Longshore, but it's upside down. The entire map is upside down. I did add a little like lift here so you can actually get to the part where the invisibility is, but pretty much you can get to most every area in Longshore, like the original map. In this map, there's lower gravity, so you can actually make jumps and all that stuff in this one. Oh, there we go. That's all the maps. I guess we have the variants, I didn't have the descriptions for it, but when you have the variants in multiplayer, there's descriptions for each one. It tells you really simply what it is. Like, it would, example, I don't know off the top of my head which is more like Slayer 6 would be snipers and random, 25 score with teams. Like, just simple stuff like that. Slayer hardcore, it would be, it would tell you what it is. I don't, you don't have to use these variants. These are just here. These are the ones that I always use. So if you play on these maps and you feel like something's missing, it could be the variant, and you could just use one of these. Some maps require it. The parkour maps, I highly suggest using these modes and no sprinting. Adding sprint would literally break the maps. So yeah, this is actually for the Dust 2 map, but the actual Dust 2 map, not the dark one. So you have to find that on your own. Repla race, yeah, you get the race maps, and so yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for playing. If you find any problems with the maps or things that need to be fixed, definitely get in contact with me. I'm totally open for. I'm totally available to make a change or fix something if it needs to be fixed. But otherwise, yeah. Enjoy.